Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. It is Free Energy Fridays. It is October 18th, 2024. Welcome to the show. We got Nathan on, we got Philip on, we got Ben, and we got Lulu. Welcome to the show. It's Free Energy Friday. And we'll get right into it. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Everybody's good. So, Nathan, you've been really busy this week with your podcasts. Maybe you can talk about briefly about your channel, and you had a very special guest on this last week. Maybe you can touch base with that, and then we'll go on with Philip. Philip's always got something. Every week he's got something new. So, and Ben, same thing, and Lulu. We'll just dive right into it. So you had a guest on that I tried to get on, and he refused. He didn't want to do any podcast, or he just basically at the time, I guess maybe it was bad timing. I don't know. But you had Joe Legacy on. He's got a pretty popular YouTube channel, and maybe you can tell everybody about that interview and how that went.
Oh, Joel's awesome. He's kind of like the rest of us. He gets inspiration, and then like at night in his dream, and then first thing in the morning, he's writing down a circuit, tries it out later, and unbelievably, it's like a beautiful circuit works. You know what I mean? So he's just like us, and he does all these cool inventions. He has the pig cell on there. He also was doing microwave research, which I thought was just totally awesome. And he was a great guest, man. Real informative, knew a lot of stuff about Tesla. There's a lot of things that he shared on there that he doesn't necessarily share on his channel. So absolutely love Joel to come on there. And I hope to have him on again. But if you caught that interview, it was just absolutely amazing. I know everybody kind of got in there and got to talk to him a little bit. And for me personally, it was awesome because I've been watching him for a while. And I think everybody else has too. So it was kind of one of those dream guests that you always go over there and try to get. But he came on, man, and he actually afterwards emailed me a couple of times. We went back and forth on a few things, and hopefully he'll be up to doing another one.
Yeah, that'd be great. He's kind of one of those people that he doesn't like the spotlight too much, when it comes to like podcasting, because sometimes you can feel like you're on the spot, but it's not really his kind of thing. He likes doing his own webcasts. He'll do like his own live stream and just like shoot, get questions and answer questions, stuff like that. But to do it in a group setting, I think that's kind of out of his element. He's not really comfortable with that. But I think you brought the show across in a way that he didn't feel intimidated.
Yeah.
Right. And that's good. And he connected with that. So yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe he'll come on again soon and do another.
Well, we have a really positive crew that we don't let a bunch of, morons in there that are just derogatory. So we keep it real nice and a safe environment for everybody to come in and talk and hang out. And I think that's one of the best things about it because he felt like right at home with the rest of the guys on the channel, and it really worked out well.
Yeah, I popped in briefly there. I was a little bit distracted that night, but at least I got in for about 5-10 minutes and did my little shtick. And yeah, so yeah, it was a great show. I listened to the whole show again. I think a day later because I didn't get the whole show. I was
Okay.
so I went back and actually listened to the entire show, and it was great. It was a really, really informative show. So
Yeah.
So sorry, what was his name?
Joel Legacy?
yeah,
Okay. And he's work specializing on what?
Well, he does pig cells, microwave research. He does a fair amount of research into Faraday and the equations and stuff. He built circuits, kind of like us, just a garage inventor, and he shows all of his work. He likes to kind of like Gerald in that way. He likes to show his work, and instead of talking about it a whole lot when he makes his videos, and then when you get him on a live, you kind of have to pull it out of him a little bit. You know what I mean? But the guy is so smart; he knows a lot more than what he ever tells on his video.
Maybe he's gonna unshy at some point and speak it out. Um, Everything he's doing he's more easily. He needs to practice. So like me, initially I was a little bit, and everybody is kind of nervous a little bit when it starts to speak in front of everybody, but he's gonna get used to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, on my end, I don't have any cool experiment like last week to display, but because I was working on another. Sometimes I need to work on my company, and
yeah.
I had to work on my software C++ superset, and now it's pretty powerful. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn powerful. And I need to
I
get
need a
it ready.
copy of that.
Sorry.
I need to get that.
Yeah, and I need to get it ready before I go in Texas this December. Um, there was another show in November, right after the elections, in Tampa Bay, Florida, about special operations, SOCOM. But I don't think I'm gonna go there. I wish I could go, but I can't. I need to select my showcases. But I did have time to do some thinking about something. I don't have the right equations yet, but I did try to figure out why a photon goes at speed c, and I know I did I did figure that the speed of light is a function of frequency in my paper, based on the supernova explosion, 7.2 billion light years away. You see, apparently there's a delta between frequencies that we receive. So there's a time delay between photons and their frequencies. So clearly, the speed of light is a function of frequency, but why at that speed? I'm trying to figure out why it goes at that speed, and
Well, that speed varies, though. Eric Dollard says it's an arbitrary constant.
yeah, but
Speed of light is not constant; it
yeah,
varies.
that's what I'm saying. It's not constant. It's a function of frequency,
Right.
but
Because
the
like the universe is constantly expanding, so the light that's traveling with it is also expanding. Right.
yeah, but one thing that just came to my mind is a photon. What is a photon? It's a positron and an electron superimposed. So the net charge is null. So the energy needs to
Yeah, because
emanate in some way. So it emanates in speed. So that's what I figured out
Yeah,
this week. Well,
like a lot of people in regular science, they still think it's a particle. It's not a physical mass. It is a frequency. It's a like you're saying, it's frequency.
yeah,
Photon's not a particle like a physical matter, right?
yeah. It's just like when I talk about electron and positrons, it's not a particle either. It's the same thing
Right.
as a photon.
Right.
It's not like a ball of pool like I keep saying
Mhm.
that hits other balls of pools and things like that. It's just some virtual particle that has a charge, and but when you combine it with a positron, the net charge is null, but the energy needs to emanate in some way, and the I think it emanates in speed. So the only solution, since the net charge is null, the energy needs to emanate in speed. It needs to to have a speed. So I think that's I just need no I get the idea, but I just need to have the right equations now. That's what I was trying. I was hoping to have the equations before the beginning of the show, but unfortunately I did not have the equations yet. I don't have the equations yet. So yeah, just check out my. I'll be able to sell C++ superset in 2 weeks, but before that we'll have to patiently wait.
Well, it's good you're making some grounds with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have a business to run too, right? So
yeah,
you know
exactly.
this is playtime, and business is business. You have to put food on the table, and you got to do what you got to do. Speaking of which, I was already telling everybody before the show. Next week I'll be doing a show Friday night, but the next 2 Fridays I will not be able to do a show. I have to go on afternoon shift because we're getting pretty busy at work. So they split the shifts up now. So I got my turn to go on afternoons is after next week. So there'll be one more show, and then it'll be 2 weeks of no shows. But there's still Nathan and Ben. They got great podcasts. If you haven't become a member of their YouTube channels, do so. Ben and Phil. Ben, Phil, you got a YouTube channel too now. Post your links in the live chat so people can subscribe to your channels. Um, yeah, don't forget to do that so you can get some more subscribers to your channels and get more viewers and stuff. So, yeah, take full advantage of the live chat. It's going good tonight. Actually, last 5 weeks, we've had really, really strong chats going. So, thanks to chat. Keep it up. Yeah, for sure. And I'll even post it up on the screen there for everybody as well.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't log in before. If you can just paste my link here.
Yeah.
So yeah, the speed of light is the only thing I'm trying to figure out. I mean not the speed of light itself, but um, the amplitude of the speed of light, and this and something else I forgot. There's just two things I'm trying to figure out. So if you guys can help me out, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Check out Philip's Fornex, right? Is your company name?
Yeah, my company is called Fornox, and
Fornox.
my the name of the theory that represents all my efforts in astrophysics is called finite theory. So yeah,
So you're looking for speed of light equations in physics? Is that what you were researching?
I'm trying to figure out why when you have a photon that goes in a glass, it goes a little bit slower than C, but when it gets out of the glass, it goes back to the speed of C with an instantaneous acceleration. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure
Well,
what's
wouldn't the ether itself actually alter C due to higher concentration and lower concentration, and
yeah,
as those fields travel through the ether, it's not always a smooth transition for that to actually go from point A to point B. There's going to be some resistance there, which would alter the frequency and also alter the speed of C.
yeah. The
So,
energy density will alter the speed of light. Like if it goes in a denser area, it's gonna be slower, and if it goes in a less dense, it's gonna be faster,
and
and so on.
I liked how Eric Dollard called it. He called it an arbitrary constant. So
Yeah,
I think
but you
that's
need a theory that's based on impedance and maybe even magnetic fields in order to get the right equation in physics, right? So they say that it slows down when it gets into a magnetic field, but then you're talking about a glass, so that's just straight impedance of the field. So if it's a scalar field, you got to pick up some kind of resistance, and that resistance slows down the field in order to create light. So you need something in physics that demonstrates that, right? That's what you're
Yeah,
looking for.
yeah. I'm trying to well, just explain why C, why not C divided by 4 or 10? You know why C? I know it's variable, the variable speed of light and all that, but why this amplitude? That's
Hmm.
that's what I want to come up with. Now I am not gonna be able to stop working on it until I get it out of my head.
I've done some experiments before with low powered lasers, and when you add smoke in front of it, you can see the laser light. But now the laser's getting altered by that, I guess, resistance or differential in the pathway of light of the photons going through space, which alters that frequency. It's like the beam is going straight, it's in a certain frequency. But if anything, say like fog or something that would come in contact with that frequency boundaries, it would alter it and maybe even alter speed or create a resistance there that could alter C, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike's comment right there, right under where you're at, right there. It might be in that area in physics. I was watching that a lot this last week, so I think Mike's probably got it right there. It's one of those formulas in there.
Well, where?
Oh,
Which comment?
he just put up the comment.
Here, I'll put it
It has to do with the gas get excited at different rates and the speed of vibrational excitement rate. So I believe there was a formula for that one, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
Okay.
Can you guys see it? The laser light, which you're explaining smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's diffracting the signal like into. Is it because the smoke has less density than the laser light, or more, and is able to do that?
I think it has more density than the air.
Yeah, and like I was showing the other day, light is because of the momentum of the foot of the of light. It's pushing, kind of pushing the smoke particles, like I showed. That explains the radio meter experiment.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like photon, is not physical matter, but now if the photon is now um, uh, hitting a physical mass, then it changes, right?
Yeah. So, but in the case of the radiometer, you have a white and a black fin. The white fin reflects light, so it kind of cancels the effect. So it has no effect on the white fin, but the black fin, the air particle are being pushed on the black fin, which in turn pushes away makes the radiometer spinning.
So if you use a black light, would it change on the white surface?
A black light, yeah, like infrared light.
Kind of like Gone in 60 Seconds. You use a black light in order to see different things on the wall.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
spectrum, the spectrum of light.
yeah.
It'd just be interesting if you ever come across one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it should do the same with the black light. Yeah, I think so. But I need to test it. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. So if you have any questions, let me know. Or if I come up with an equation, I'll bring it back next week or on your show, Nathan, or something like that.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Ben, did you had anything you wanted to present or?
Yeah, so tonight I'll be working on my newly wound Christmas coil. It is a frame that Michael Morrell sent, and it is his attempt at trying to reverse engineer the original large PoE vortex coil designed by First Stop Energies. So it is utilizing all 24 channels. So we're going to be doing some testing with that tonight, specifically with a modified Joule Thief. So I'll put that together, in the background and be testing, and then periodically update you guys with what I got.
Oh, by the way, Ben, I talked to Gerald last week, and I asked. Apparently, he has a spherical coil. Have you thought of doing something like that as well? I think it's a spherical coil, but using the wire on the longitude, not the latitude. So
Yes, yeah, exactly. So this is an interesting idea that I seen also in one of the published papers on efficiency of the rodent coil. And that's how they used their pickup method. They wrapped it just basically vertically around the donut as the
okay,
pickup. Yeah, and I'm also thinking about as well maybe making a pickup coil in the shape of a sphere to complement the Tor shape, and maybe try to maximize the pickup, kind of like acting like what the nested coil would do,
yeah,
utilizing a shape to maximize the amount of energy it's capturing. So yeah, those are
yeah.
all basically spot on what we've been thinking about doing with the coil, and I think it's going to utilize some interesting results.
Cool, because a toroid. I was thinking about that because a toroid um, has a circular magnetic field, but
Mm.
if you squeeze it, I was thinking if you squeeze it into a spherical coil with longitudinal wires, then the energy at the middle, at the center of the sphere, will be pretty great. Pretty much
Yeah, you would be
amplified.
maximizing that compression.
Exactly. You compress all the
Yeah.
energy at the center.
I wonder if you
Yeah,
put
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
if you drop an object in the center of it, would it disappear? And it appears like the counter space where, what happens there?
I don't know.
I mean, if big
yeah.
enough, like drop an object, see what happens.
I mean, what did what's his name? Randy Powell called this device a desktop black hole. So take that as you will.
It would be really interesting to actually see what happens to it. Like does it travel to, a little bit further? Does it,
You know what?
Where does it
I'm
go?
not sure, but I know that we do want to do some testing with time, putting stopwatches and stuff like that in the system, specifically when it's in resonance, so.
How about like something that actually like a walkie-talkie? Just one thing from whatever it could possibly not measure as a means of communication, and then
Well, one of the
you
one
know
of the interesting things that the coil does is it does do a three-dimensional sound, and what I mean by that is you think it's coming from a direction that it's actually not. Like if you have a giant parabola shaped metal bowl, for instance, and a tiny sphere attached to that at the center, and you put that on the coil, and then you play audio through it, it'll come out of that parabola, but it sometimes at specific frequencies will sound like it's coming from behind you or over here, or sounds like it's coming from this component on the circuit. It's really weird.
so it's like different echo reflector,
Yeah, and there's a way maybe that you can utilize that for entertainment. I have no idea, but it is on my to-do list to check out.
Halloween. Make
Yeah.
your pumpkin talk.
Scare the crap out of some kids, man.
Make the kid
Oh,
cry.
wow.
Halloween.
Oh man. Put a guy in a black suit over there. Make him look like he's a watcher. And just
I
make
guess I
voices
muted
come out of
myself.
him. That's great.
And I'd
My
be-
bad, guys. Yeah, I muted myself on my channel, I guess.
You like my new background?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Live chat is open, everybody. It's going good right now.
Is
you
Faraday
have any-
your grandfather? Sorry, is Faraday
Yeah.
your grandfather?
Yeah, he's my grandfather.
That's funny.
Grandpa Faraday.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Ben, when you get it in resonance, just drop things through the hole. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely want to test some of that 3D surround sound effect though. That's going to be interesting because I've already kind of heard it. I've attached a small kind of pot, like not a true parabola, but a pot, and I've heard it like it sounded like it was coming from a different space. It was really weird. Like I'm looking at the fan that I'm using on the load, and I'm like putting my ear up to it. Like, is that the fan making that noise? It was really weird.
yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
Oh,
but,
another thing that's interesting about the Christmas coil. I'm sorry, you were saying?
I said it's interesting how electrical, it could mean different, oscillations, either combined or resonance, or, but
Mhm.
yeah. So it's interesting how to isolate what energy field, it's going through that, like whether it's straight or is it a resonant energy, like it just depends on the echo of the oscillations.
Right. And the coil itself is a resonance chamber. And that's one of the reasons why, because I came up like 5 inches short on the Christmas coil. So it's like 99% of the geometry necessary. So it should be enough. But I can't just like solder on another extension, because at that point we're changing the frequency and we're kind of splitting it. We're creating two frequencies. It's called frequency splitting. And then when you introduce a second frequency, it can have unpredictable effects with this coil. So that's one of the reasons why, like, it's not like a traditional transformer where you could just solder on an extension if you're, a little bit short. But what I was going to say is the Christmas coil, even though it is a tiny bit short on that last wind for the interference pattern, it's 99% of the geometry, so it should still be enough to get some interesting effect. But I did do preliminary testing on the induction method that I normally get 155% efficiency with the Mark 1. That, remember, the Mark 1 is only utilizing 22 wires because one of them broke and I disconnected one to even it out. So this is utilizing 24. And I always thought that the Mark 1 might be doing something different, something that most rodent coils aren't really doing that I've seen based on First Stop Energy's design. And I think that's just being proven by the fact that this new coil, which is 24 wires, and they're fully functional, 12 wires each channel, it is not getting over unity in that same resonance area, but the waveform is nearly identical, but you don't see the transient spikes that are really necessary for that back EMF. So it's very interesting. And I think it's kind of notes that the Mark 1 is doing something original, in the sense that it might tell us what the limitations are for the system and if it really does, in fact, operate as a non-linear expansion of energy in the sense that, certain number combinations of turns rather than the number of turns themselves matter more. Where we have 24 turns, those are 12 turns each, which reduce down to 3 in vortex math, and 24 reduces back to 6, right? 3 and 6, you're oscillating between the 9, which is radiant energy. So these numbers, they're not just random. They all matter. And I believe that we're in the process of painting a full picture of the limitations and possibilities of the rodent coil now.
There's one thing I have noticed with the rodent coil, getting the back EMF, you can greatly enhance that by inductance. There has to be inductance in that coil.
And that's the weird thing, because the inductance method that I use to get over unity in the Mark 1 doesn't work for the other coils, the Fireball or Christmas coil, right? And that's simply just, taking channel A as the input and channel B, which is lying on top of it, as the output,
Right.
and
Now,
that's not how people are usually getting an over unity effect, but I am. And that's very unusual.
Now, one thing that you could try, and I've never seen anybody do this with the rodent coil, is get a small piece of iron core and put it in one area on the inside of the toroid, not in the center hole where the 0 point is. I'm talking in between where the windings are.
Yeah, like on the center disc frame.
Right. Inside one of those discs, put a little piece of, a welding rod or any kind of, a little bit. You don't need much, maybe about an inch long and maybe a half-inch diameter, and just stick it in one of those ribs and see if that makes a difference on your inductance and the actual back EMF that you're getting off it. I suspect it will increase if you put a little bit of small core in one section of one of the ribs.
Yeah, maybe it just needs a little boost or a kickstart from the iron.
Or you could go further, put one in front, back, east, west. So north, south, east, west.
Does it matter the shape of the actual iron core, or just a bit of iron?
No, it could be a steel ball. It could be round.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out different areas I can source material. That's not always going to be an ideal geometry for these recycled materials.
but I think what I'm telling you, if you do them in opposite directions, you create a balance.
Right, and that's why I'm saying put one at north, south, and then east and west on either side. And just small. They don't have to be big. They could be, half-inch diameter, 1 inch long, and just put it in those 4 strategic locations. And then do your test. I would put money on it that your inductance will increase, and number 2, your back EMF is going to go quite a bit higher than basically a coreless core or a coreless coil, right?
Yeah, air coil. Yeah. No, that's a very good idea. I'm gonna write that down.
Just food for thought. Try it out. I've never seen
Benefactor
anybody do
handbook.
it. I've never seen anybody do it. It would be interesting to see if there's anything to that.
Yeah, zip tie through a copper rod would do it.
Right.
That'll hold it right in place.
Mhm.
Or it could be metal. Doesn't matter what kind you use, I guess.
I think the inductance is going to go up quite a bit. And number two, I think your back EMF spike is going to increase quite a bit.
Nice.
So the routing coil with is that what you're using?
Yes,
The,
yeah, we're using the rodent coil, basically a type of torus shaped coil. Oh, here's one. Here's a frame. There's a good frame.
Yeah. So, yeah, just put it right where the lateral part of, right where it connects all those discs together. Right in that spot there, stick something metal in one of those discs.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So
But
I tried to wind
do it in 4 spots: north, south, east, west.
right, like right here,
Yeah,
here.
right.
But I tried to wind this one for you guys. Unfortunately, you can see the spokes. Um,
Yeah.
we're trying different things, Michael and I, and he has been trying different things with the frames. And unfortunately, this one, it's making me see like why First Stop Energy's Advanced Version 3 coil has these long spokes and just a little slit. So I just, as much as I tried, and I even glued it at some points, I couldn't get the wire to stay as I wound this. And that's really what the long slits come in for. You put them in that long, tiny slit, and they stay in there while you're winding it. So I can actually pull up a image of what it should look like for anybody trying to wind a small rodent coil, because those are nearly impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, I would try that, Ben. I'd be really curious to see how that would look.
Hmm.
Oh, what happened?
Present
Just
this real quick.
You got something you want to show? Or?
Oh yeah. So this is just a picture, and this is it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see how there's just a tiny slit, and they're really long. The frame here. I'll pull up another. Let me pull up
Here, I
another.
put it into full screen there.
Can you scroll on your mouse, Ben, and get it closer?
Oh yeah. Let me try to zoom in.
Like a zoom in. Yeah,
There we go.
that's it.
Okay, yeah. So you see how they're kind of like just long spokes with a tiny slit. So
Right.
you want them
Oh,
to come up
okay, yeah.
quite a bit and just provide just a tiny slit for the wire, because as you're going, this is going to be necessary to hold the wire in place, as opposed to something that's kind of loose, like the one that I was trying to wind here. But as you can see, this is something that I pulled from the Wayback Machine, and this is from an earlier version of First Stop Energies and their shop. And we can see why they called it the version 3 versus the version 2 over here, which has 2 channels. And it's the same frame, only this is 2 channels and this is 3 channels. So it's very, very interesting designed by First Stop Energies. This is their most advanced design here, the version 3.
Yeah,
And
it looks like hell to wrap that thing.
it requires it's going to require a tremendous amount of patience.
I
But
would be bald by the time I finished doing that. Seriously.
and they actually did sell these like fully wound and stuff for what was it, I think it says what does it say, $200 there? Oh no, $699 for fully wound,
Ooh.
$499 for the 2 channel.
Oh,
So
wow.
the $200 just for the frame,
Just for the frame.
Yeah. They're very, I mean, they spent 10 years perfecting their frame designs and their coil design. So like these are like the top of the line coils. And you can't really get these anymore, You can only try to replicate them.
Yeah.
And the magnetic field is spinning at the center. Or what's going on?
So we're not quite sure the exact difference, and we won't really know until we just test these out. The difference, but we're assuming the difference is in the field geometry, right? Since these are delicately placed on top of one another, you're not just scrambling them in a twisted multifiler hoping that the fields condense enough. You're condensing them very methodically and intentionally in a very specific pattern. You know what I guess that's the easiest way I can understand it to this point.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that prevents leaks or, imperfections. I'm not quite sure, but I'm hopeful that we'll learn a great deal more once we get one of these things actually running. So, but you can see the difference between that and this one, which is really loose and tiny spokes. So it's, it was really hard for me to wind. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to wind this one. But it is a nice, mantelpiece. I might paint it,
I found this model. It's supposed to be the model for planet Earth, but like a paper puzzle.
Oh, neat.
Look, it has like the hollow core, the like the little holding the top.
Your audio is kind of breaking up there, Lulu.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
Anyway, I just wanted to show you this. If this would work, would be good for anybody that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. The spherical coil with wired on the longitude. That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And this one has like 12 of them. But
Yeah. So what about you, Mike? How's your over Unity device going?
It's going really good. I built 2 large versions of the power cell, and they're hooked up to the cycling circuit. They're working good. They're at full power. I plan to make more of them this week. I've also worked on a little cell here that is eventually I'm going to make into a cell phone charger. So, an infinite power source for your cell phone.
Nice.
So I built this cell in about 30 minutes, and I fired it up last night, and it's still going. But I kind of used like old magnesium in it. So when I built a new
That's so
unit,
cool.
yeah. So yeah, it's running a 12-volt chaser light. It takes about 300 milliamps to run it. Yeah, it's working pretty good, better than I expected. So I figured out the see with the back with the Hutchison, the crystal cell. He was never able to hook it up in series and multiply the power. With this type of cell, you can. That's one big fault with the Hutchison cell. They can only go to a certain point. I think the highest they were able to go to is about, I think, 4 volts. And then after that, for some reason, you can't multiply the power any higher. It won't go. But I've gone as high as 18 volts with the cells that I'm building. So they're very easily to multiply in power. Yeah, it's I've worked on this for about 2.5 years on the sidelines, and now I'm getting pretty serious with it. Me and my partner, he's dumped in about $9,000 into this stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of money involved, but all that money is all R&D. We haven't made a cent off this stuff yet. So this is all R&D. And,
Yeah, same thing with me over the years.
This is still like shoestring budget. It's not, we're not playing with the $500,000 or $10 million budget for R&D. We're just
right
out in the small thousands, right? So
yeah, but the demand is there. I mean, even me, I'm looking forward to buy your stuff as soon as it's ready.
And the fact that you can do what you're doing, Mike, on a shoestring budget is a testament to your technology. That's really incredible.
Yeah, because like everybody's asking me questions, and I understand that. A lot of stuff of what I'm working on right now is already out there. If you could look at Quantum Magnetics YouTube channel, Michael Kantz passed away in 2021, right? So he put out videos about these power cells. So basically, what Michael Kantz has done, I'm trying to replicate and actually go a little bit further with. So, there is some literature out there. It's very limited. We've been trying to decrypt, because he was kind of cryptic in a lot of the videos and some of the stuff he's written. So we're kind of like trying to decrypt what he was talking about and figuring out, and the one big thing he said is all the elements of the cell are household items. That keeps ringing in the back of my head. All the elements that he uses in the cells are household items.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's a little. It's not so much. It's one thing of what's in it, but also what's incredibly important is building method. Actually, how to actually construct the cell, what components you need, how to do it effectively and cost effective. Because, like, for us to build a cell, and if it costs us $200 to build one cell, well, that's not really cost effective. It'll be out of the price range of most people. So we're trying to keep the cost under $50. And if we can achieve that and achieve our objective of having a cell that could last 5 years, then we've done it. So our goal is to keep the cell at $50 to cost, like to actually build from beginning to finish. Obviously, down the road, we put a markup on it and make some money off it. But that's like any other company. You're gonna mark it up 20-25%, right? Markup. Some people even go higher in markup. But right now, the key is what's in the cell, how the cell works, building method, and cost. So we're trying to get all that right. So as soon as we get all that right, then we take it to the next step.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you won't have to spend a lot on marketing because it's gonna sell like hot breads.
Well, see, I'm kind of leaving that to my partner. He has a lot of avenues how to get it out into industry covertly, so it's not like it's going to make the headline news, because that's actually what we don't want to happen, because then people could go after us, right? So we don't want to set ourselves up and hit certain industries that could take the device and actually utilize it to actually, say, for instance, like a greenhouse, right? Power a greenhouse during the winter, but not having to pay for the power, right? So
Yeah.
instead of having, 3 or 4 months of the year of food production, you can have it all year round if you have a heat source or a light source in a greenhouse that you can sustain a crop. And especially in the day and age that we live in, where food has gone through the roof, inflation is, well, we're in hyperinflation. Things are getting hard. So a lot of people can't put food on the table because it costs too much. It's either, okay, am I going to heat my house this winter or am I going to eat?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, we're in kind of rough times right now, worldwide economically. It's not very good. So,
Oh, have you heard North Korea is trying to wants to initiate war against Ukraine or something like that, and they
oh,
want to
that's
use
smart.
yeah.
Oh, that's real smart.
So it's that stuff is not over yet. Far from
Yeah,
over.
well, as far as I know, they're starting to provide arms to the Russian army now. So they're building munitions and stuff like that for the Russian forces. So they've gone to now another thing. But the problem is, if the U.S. were to send, say, um, missiles to the Ukraine, well, the Russians will say, okay, well, that is a declaration of war, because now you're you're sending your arms into the country, and then they're going to use them to attack Russia.
Yeah.
And Putin says straight out, he says, if you guys do that, we're pulling the trigger.
It all
And
depends on who wins this election.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to get into that deeper, but because I got already a strike,
Yeah.
I got to I have to be careful. I don't want to get too political in this, but I love to. But we would have to do it on, say, like Rumble, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to leave it at that. Yeah, kind of sucks, but that's just the reality now.
So after 3 strikes, did they ban you or something?
No, they'll strip my whole channel right off. It happened to Bernie twice. Remember, Bernie
Oh.
got taken off a couple of times there. So
Oh.
he had 3 strikes. He had, I guess, some bots or whatever going into his chat and posting porn. So automatically YouTube flags it. Bernie will tell you all about it. If you talk to Bernie, ask him about that, what happened to him. So, yeah.
So you got a full strike or a warning?
Oh, he got 3 strikes and he got taken out.
No, you.
Oh, me? No, I got a warning. So the next time will be a strike. So I was borderline. I was given a warning shot.
Gotcha.
So
you got 90 days in a class to take.
yeah.
Mad class.
Well, that's if you want. That's if you want to fight it, right? You don't.
No. It's you take the class and then they remove it in 90 days. The warning. The class is like 10 questions or 12 questions. Real simple. And if you don't do anything, the warning stays. In order to get rid of it in 90 days, you have to do the simple little class they have.
Yeah.
Just like a DUI, you gotta go to the mad class.
It's not as painful. Let me just tell you that right now. The class is like, I want to say less than 5-6 minutes. It's real quick. The DUI class is days and days. That's a nightmare.
Do they give you the reason for the strike, or is it just they say it's a strike?
Well, the one was talking about health, and the other one we got it was when we were starting to talk about religion. They flagged that too.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I think they're like, oh wow, that's very.
Yeah, that's how bad it's getting. You can't even talk about religion now.
Well, what if you believe
that part's crazy?
Well, what if you believe that science is religion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but what if you say that Einstein was wrong? Are you gonna get flagged?
Whatever it was, they flagged it, right? I was surprised because originally I thought it was just about talking about the health, and then they got into the second part of the letter and said, due to your comments on religious beliefs and all this kind of stuff, bullshit, basically. They nailed me on both those things. It's like, what? Really? We didn't. It's not like we were starting a religious cult.
It's kind of normal to reference things such as like iconic imagery that relates to some scientific notation.
Exactly. So stuff like that will get flagged.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. So obviously we're being watched in certain aspects. They're because I guess we're stirring up the pot, I guess, in the free energy area. We're obviously going to be targets. They could target Nathan. They could.
They're waiting for excuses to take you down.
Yeah, for sure. They're just waiting. They're just like, we're waiting.
Yeah.
Screw up.
But how few are in this field. If they want to have science preserved in individuals, it's a very small community, that is trying to keep this science alive, or existing. A billion people.
It just shows the level of how they like to censor stuff now. So
it's
I got my
species.
I have my stuff on. I'm not too worried if I were to actually get kicked off YouTube. Okay, fine, it happened. It sucked. but I still have Rumble. I got X. I got other platforms. Another one I'm looking into is called Kicks.com. That's a streaming service. So, you know, you can't always put all your eggs in one basket. You have to spread yourself out. I have even an Instagram account. I got a presence on Facebook as well. So, if that day were to come, I get the axe on YouTube. Okay, whatever. There's other options now, right? So
Yeah, now I see why the creators get their own website. They get their email addresses, and they keep in communication with them, and they always have a backup plan.
But
Yeah.
that's proof. That's proof that they're linked with the banks or something, because they don't want innovation. They're against innovation, and that's they don't want innovation because it breaks us out of the being in debt for our whole lives. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Oh
debt,
yeah.
paying credit cards every month and all that.
I think it's to keep us isolated from being able to connect to the outer world and actually putting this whole idea to outside of the banking system. You
Yeah,
understand?
the banking system, they just want us to
just
pay interest.
I'm just gonna scoot up for a quick smoke, guys. Just carry on, and I'll be right back.
Because most
Okay.
like grants, loans, things have to cycle through the financial system, but our communication kind of bypasses that. You understand? Like the
Yeah, but again, they're waiting for excuses to take us down. So we have to watch. I want to cooperate and collaborate with Mike here. I don't want to worsen the situation for him.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree.
I mean, he's a big shot in a big department now, for science of some kind. So yes, we don't want to mess that up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they want to keep you to simple experiments that they can, shove in the corner a little bit. Nothing too fancy for them. They don't want any of that. They want to dull you down.
I really like his infinite battery idea, like the cell. I mean,
Yeah,
this like I know he wants to go into big production, but it would work so well if he makes a few custom ones, and like and sell them at really cool prices. I mean, they do make them are a little bit more expensive than the commercial ones, and
then
now
we can test it out on ourselves.
yeah, absolutely. Like look, I have 4 kids. If I buy 4 of this from him, do you know how many other kids are going to be like, "Oh my God, what is this? So cool! Where did you get this? Can you tell me what the website is?" It becomes, you start it small with a few people, but will the science will once the younger generation picks up on that, man, it
Yeah,
they do the whole for the inventors, because they're introducing it now to the schools, to their science teacher, to their like
yeah, and
yeah,
that's what kids want. They want to have a cool reputation, so they're gonna bring that cool new stuff, and it's gonna help having that cool little reputation that they seek.
I mean, can you imagine like them like trying to explain an infinite battery that produces energy all the time and
Yeah.
how
He's gonna throw upside down on everything that the teacher is trying to teach them.
yeah, I mean,
That's
like
right.
in a different way, and let the younger generation like ask the questions sometimes, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
well, they already took the good stuff out of school. You know what I mean? They take all the experiments out of school, and then they take home ec out of school. Everything to make yourself self-sufficient, they've taken out of school. And they've dulled it to a point where they don't even give you grades anymore. It's just ridiculous. It's like just show up and we get paid, and that's it.
yeah.
I'm
What's up with that? You're not preparing your kids to face reality when they're gonna get out of school. and they get on the commercial market, they're not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to hire you if you don't care about your performance at work.
I was driving the kids to a theater. They have like some play tonight, and I was listening to them talk in the car with their they had a friend with them in the car, and oh my god, like they're talking about a particular teacher in their school and them, and when and I'm just like listening. I mean, I don't want to interrupt them because I don't want to collapse their wave function if but I'm like, oh my god, the system is like so bad. They're not. It's not how it used to be. It used to be a different thing. I mean, I've went to school.
Yeah. Remember back in the 90s when the mainstream rock music was all about being against the authority and the government and things like that. That was awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like being a sheep is the mainstream,
Yeah, no kidding.
I think they've conditioned children to the point where they see it's not worth contesting anything because just it doesn't.
Yeah, they don't create the critical mindset. So I think for me, I think they're watering the wine. They're kind of turning the younger generation into sheep. So they're gonna get.
Remember,
We'll be more vulnerable, if we get attacked. These kids, they're not gonna want to go to war or anything like that. They're not gonna, they're not gonna go in the army, or the military.
you're right. The major interest is not in inventors; it's in a working class that follows orders, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
System protocols and have no rights in asking any questions. And if they do try to invent a new, system, they're really fought against, or not enough information is given to them, and they leave them in this unfinished puzzle just because they don't want to divulge any progressive information for people to start inventing things. So they cap them at information level. Like
Exactly.
it's like there's certain subjects like what this is. You really have to go to a specific field to understand it, and sometimes it's very simple things, but they don't want to spend that energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid of the legacy. I think because they will be vulnerable. We'll be when we'll be in wheelchairs. When we'll get older, we'll be in wheelchairs, and the younger generation might fail to defend us. I mean, I look at China. They're if they don't perform every day, they just commit suicide and things like that. So, no, I cannot say that keyword. Sorry, but they need to perform every day. So otherwise, they're gonna get in trouble. So it's kind of the opposite over there in China. They need to be very performant every day, and I think that's what scares me. I mean, if we have a generation of sheeps, and on the other hand, they um, they perform every day, and they to the point they're enslaving their inmates and things like that. So it's kind of a dangerous for us. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, there's other channels out there that do streaming and stuff like X and what do you call the other channel? Got a brain fart. What's the other one I'm on? Rumble.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
Yeah, but what's the goal of YouTube? What's the advantage of YouTube over Rumble? There's more people, I guess.
Yeah, viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's viewers, and the most viewers are girls from the ages of like 4 to like 16. That's where huge traffic. Like you look at some of these sites of kids that are like 8 years old, and they're getting like 30, 40 million views. Like that's unbelievable. And then like say in the free energy stuff, you see all the fake stuff, they're getting 10, 20,000, 100,000 views. They'll
Yeah.
promote that. They'll
Yeah,
promote.
what's up with that?
Yeah.
There was one in Africa. He was I forgot the name, but he pretended to invent to have invented anti-gravity device in the middle of nowhere, and the guy is the same thing with the Gravity Flyer guy. I mean, they got like millions of views, and we don't even know if it's true or not. Whereas in your case, everything is true. Same for me, and same for our partners, and we keep being shadow banned and being striked out and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just create something absurd that we know is just junk, and it'll get millions of views.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we do it. We'll put our faces on the side of it, make it look bad. Get a junky old truck, and we'll say we're driving it with this engine, and we'll just have like a chicken cranking it in the back.
Or or what I'll do is I'll get my wife to drive the car while I'm on the hood of the car.
There you go.
And jump
Mike's the
off.
engine.
Yeah, I'll jump off the car while she's driving, and then my wife's looking at me funny now. But
Free chicken energy.
Yeah.
yeah, hey, there's one. I'll get an old car, I'll strip the engine out, and I'll put one of those hamster wheels, and that'll be my energy device. I'll have a little hamster running in the wheel.
Dude, that's so funny, but it's so true that it would get a million views.
It would. Because it's so absurd.
Oh. It's like a bunch of cats pulling a chariot. Anything dumb, the kids say, oh my God, that's gotta work.
Yeah, the land of the stupid.
Yeah. That's so bad.
They're not into wanting to learn how things are. They're like, remember, kids are into the popularity thing or the what's in the now, not like, oh, what I could do, what is in the now. I don't know if it's segment in age that this is how they index what is important for them. Like how do they spend their time basically. Our generation, remember, was a bit different in our father's generation. We did not have the accessibility of technology like they do. So, our time was more of a time we had to be doing things to entertain ourselves, whether it's building things or figuring out how things work. We were in that generation. Like, let me call my friend on my private cell phone or, and have a conversation. You had a phone. You would be lucky if you had a phone. It's for the whole house. Where's alone? So like, we lived through that, but the new generation doesn't even know what that is.
Yeah, it just takes 30 years to change a generation, and that's exactly the timing we're experiencing right now. It was completely different 30 years ago, and now it's completely upside down.
Yeah, it's the genie in the bottle that was opened. Now they're trying to control the genie. That's true.
Yeah.
They never thought about this in 1995. What we're doing right now. Back in the 1900s, all the publications were controlled by the Rockefellers. They controlled most of the popular anything that was printable, any kind of media. They controlled it. Now we're in an age where the average Joe Blow like us, we're on the computer chatting with, God knows how many people, talking about the stuff that interests us. They never thought that was possible. And look where we are now.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't sit through the AOL dial-up where the rest of us did.
Yeah, I was there.
I still,
AOL,
yeah.
ICQ. I used that was my first chat board. The ICQ. Remember that?
Yeah. We had what was it? King's Quest and Space Quest.
Yeah.
But I kept typing in things for the guy to do, and it says you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like
It's like
you didn't type it in just right.
You eat table and you can't do that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
every time.
Yeah. Space Quest was pretty awesome though. Remember we had to go in a washing machine to change your clothes?
Yeah. Oh man, Leisure Suit Larry. Oh man, the things they came out with back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of cool to be a part of it because that's history that we were part of. The beginning of the internet, the cell phone era.
But that was the cool thing because the graphic were not that good back then, but it's like reading a book, it puts space to your imagination to
like,
imagine.
like even just like playing some of the old PC games from the early 1990s, like just pre-internet,
Yeah, exactly.
I got a little Nintendo thing. It has Pac-Man on it, and Donkey Kong. A lot of these games kids today won't know about it, but for us, that was like, the best games out there at the time. Cheap graphics, it kind of has the nostalgia, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it puts space to your imagination and creative thinking and things like that.
The
To the
graphic.
point I played the Unreal Tournament. I was playing until Unreal Tournament '99 came out.
Yeah,
It was
Unreal
pretty
Tournament.
awesome.
Yeah, I was playing that. That was one of my favorite games back then.
Yeah,
Unreal Tournament and the other Counter Strike. I was a huge Counter Strike guy.
yeah.
I was even doing coding. I was making actual boards to
Oh
play
yeah.
on. So me and my buddy were right into it, and we're talking online. This is around 1999, right around that time frame.
Yeah.
And me and him were right into the Counter Strike stuff. We were doing code and all that stuff, and making boards and doing game servers and stuff like this. And yeah, it was great. That was a really cool time.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
landmines where you like clicked on it, it gave you like the button?
Yeah, landmine. It was called landmine.
That's it. Yeah, that was a really cool one.
So what was it? Contra, when you played it on the N64, it was up down, left right, BA select start, and you got unlimited lives.
30 lives, something.
Yeah,
There were hacks. Yeah.
I like that game.
Yeah.
See, I remember when Steam first came out. That's when we were doing the Counter-Strike thing, and we were starting our own servers, right? So we could control all the parameters of the server, how many lives you had, and we were finding out guys were actually doing hacks to actually win games. So it all had to do with the latency. What they did was all the channel data that was coming into your server, what they did was they put a resistor on the I guess on the network cable coming into your server. So if they were going to take a shot at you, there would be a 0.3-second delay on his shot
Oh,
where
okay.
you had a 3-second advantage.
Yeah, time to move away.
Right, because the data was coming into your server on that channel. We were
Of course. No wonder how they cheated all the time to win.
Yeah, that's how they did it. Yeah, they controlled the latency of the data coming from their computer into your server. So because of that little delay, you always had that edge where you could actually be.
What if you edit the time for a day in advance? Then what happened? Like, your whole transmission would have a completely different timestamp on it just by editing.
Well, we would be in. Well, our server that we would have would be in real time, but their communications between our server and them, there would be a latency. It would be slower. So our reaction time will always trump his reaction time. Right?
Right. Yeah. Is your first. Yes.
Yeah. So those were some of the hacks that were going on back then. This is like 1999, before the 2000s. So
Yeah.
I remember this game like in the 2000s. It used to be called Farmville. You guys know that?
Or Ultima. Remember Ultima?
And this thing was
We lost her.
did we lose her? I don't know if she's still on, but lost her.
Yeah, it went blank.
That's weird.
Yeah, we used to play Pitfall on the Atari.
Yeah, Pitfall. Yeah.
Pitfall, yeah.
Yeah, the little alligator or Zelda, where
That was
you had that little knife and you like that.
Zelda. And all the Mario Brothers were coming out. And
Yeah,
Mario Brothers. What was the other one?
Or Galaga.
Galaga. Yeah, that was my brother's favorite game. Galaga.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had Frogger. I liked Frogger.
Oh, yeah.
Centipede.
Centipede. Yeah, that was another one. Yeah,
We played Maze Craze too.
he's great. I'm trying to-
what was the one with the little ball and then it's like the tennis tennis
Pong.
yeah, like
Pong.
ping pong.
Pong.
Yeah.
Or Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
They made a Pac-Man and it was the generic version for your Atari. It never was the right thing.
Yeah. I got that on the little Nintendo thing that we have. It's like this big. It's a small box. It's got like 400 games on it. The original.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's great.
And an emulator.
Yeah, it's basically emulator. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it can't. It's like got like 400 games on it. The original gateway games that were coming out.
Yeah, I still play Civilization on the 360.
Impossible Mission. That was another one I liked.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah,
Always fun times.
yeah. I was half my age I am now. That was over 25 years ago. Yeah, 25
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'll be 52 next year.
Oh, 52. I'm just 47.
Yeah, I'm the old fart. We got the old man builds, but I'm older than the old man.
That's right. You got me.
Which is what?
48.
40. Oh, just a year older than me.
So
So
I'm I'm older than old.
I'm the junior here. The junior. I'm the cadet.
The cadet.
Well, you graduated from old man to got old man balls on your shirt. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I haven't graduated that far yet. I need to get the shirt.
Old fart. I'm old fart now. When you hit 50, it's old fart.
Oh, yeah. Imagine me changing my channel name. They never let me do that.
George Carlin had the best one on being old. I'd play that on here, but it's a family show.
George Carlin was funny, man. Oh, it's cool.
I can't believe he died in 2008.
Yeah.
He's been gone that long.
Well, what's crazy is all the shows that we watched back in the 80s, all those people are dying off right now.
They're starting to, yeah. Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad. So,
Actually, I seen just recently on TV Sylvester Stallone. He looks so good for his age.
yeah,
He's like 75 years old. He looks
Yeah.
really good. He's
He-
he's
Is it,
still
is it, is,
built.
is it
Yeah,
me or
he's
he wants to do
amazing.
another Rocky movie?
Yeah, he talked about another Rocky movie.
Yeah, the comeback of the how do you say that the
I
comeback of the Russian guy, the Ivan Drago. I think he's gonna
Mm.
fight again against him. But I'm not sure. I just saw that quickly.
yeah. Well, that'd be cool. I don't know. They're both kind of old now, but
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think he's going to come out of his grave and do another Rocky. He's not going to stop. Like,
Actually, I think Sylvester Stallone looks better shape than Arnold. I think Arnold looks worse.
oh yeah. Well,
I'm sure Arnold took a lot of creatine and like
other stuff.
Other
other
steroids.
stuff.
Well, he was also like what 350 pounds, or really big,
No,
and like
no, he
Stallone
was,
never got that big. He never.
no, Stallone. Know how tall Stallone is? He's only 5'5".
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Arnold's like 6'3" or 6'4".
yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that.
I think he was like 260 or 270 pounds when he was at his biggest. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lulu.
Actually,
What were you saying?
I was saying, like it's a good, it's a cool movie. But my God, they like it's a good movie. It's about like or I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good movie.
Which one was it?
The one with the Sylvester and Arnold.
what, Predator?
No, it was
Oh,
recently on Netflix. Netflix. It was the that they escaped from
Expendables.
yeah, like maximum security, like prison. One of them has a
Oh
job.
yeah. Escape plan or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like this is really recent. So they're both in it. So it was a good movie.
Yeah, I watched that one. I like that one. I wanted to watch that one where they talked about time travel, and there were the kids in the basement, and they found their.
oh
Parents.
yeah. It's called Almanac.
There you go. I want to see that one. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it yet.
yeah. I watched that a few times. That's really good. And another good movie if you like real good sci-fi, Lucy.
I saw that one.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping the Ghost in the Machine was better than it was, to be honest with you.
Mm.
So I kind of like those things, but they never go far enough. They never go into the tech, and like they never make things like in your universe realistic. It's always somewhere far, far away, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Almanac was good. That was more of a believable type movie.
Yeah.
Lucy is kind of real sci-fi, but nonetheless, it was a good concept to a movie.
Yeah.
I like sci-fi because each one gives you a new idea. Like of really maybe it could be possible, not necessarily like the whole storyline, but just bits and pieces out of it. Like it's like, oh wow, really? Like you learn something from them.
Well, I like on the internet, on YouTube, they have some stories on there.
Mhm.
And I guess they're like podcast stories, but it's always about Earth and aliens, and they're fighting. And they always tell you don't mess with the Earthling because they never stop, why other cultures do. And it was just something really cool to play in the background as you're soldering stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, what is that sound? It's like somebody's outside in the wind, man.
Oh yeah, it's my wife playing Netflix again.
Oh, it sounded like that outside earlier, like it was a windy day, man. And it was crazy. I hear all kinds of stuff in my garage.
14 degrees. That's brutal, really.
It's 7 degrees Celsius in Toronto right now.
Oh wow, man, that's cold.
Yeah, we'll probably get some frost tonight. Are you getting frost there, Philip?
It's 10 Celsius right now in Montreal.
Oh wow, we're colder than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't go outside all week long, but last week starting getting cold already. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it's gonna be cold this winter.
yeah. We
So,
had a mild winter last year. I think
yeah,
this year's gonna be quite a bit cooler.
yeah. So get ready to stay inside.
Yeah, not me. I got to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, jump into a freezing icebox car,
Mm.
Oh
start the
yeah,
car up, turn on my seat heater,
Oh
get the
man.
heat going, put on the defroster, defrost the windows, and then go.
Yeah. Oh, so glad California. It really
yeah.
doesn't get snow. It's not like that.
Get a remote
Well, you guys,
starter. If you get a remote starter, like you could start your car from inside, so you don't have to
yeah,
like
yeah,
hair like all warm and toasty.
yeah.
But me, I like winter, but not as much as I got some friends who go to ski all the time. But me, I like to play hockey, but I to go skiing and dealing with -40 is not really that doesn't really interest me. It depends on people. Some people like it. Me, I prefer warm temperature, but some people really like cold temperature, I guess.
Not me.
You
No,
know,
thank you.
as soon as it goes below -10, that's when my body hurts. Then the cold just goes like right through you, and then you get outside, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. When I was in high school, I didn't wear a hat because I wanted to look cool, but my ears were not covered, and a blood
frostbite.
vessel kind of busted inside my ear. Man, it really hurts.
Yeah, you got probably frostbite.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mm.
so when are you coming, Nathan?
Oh, when it's summertime out there for you guys, that's when I'll come out there. It's bad enough I hate getting on planes, so that's going to be an adventure in itself.
Yeah,
Then when I get out there, I probably don't want to get on a plane right away. So I'm going to have to figure out how to stay down there for a while, or stay up there, I should say, for a while. So, yeah, I'm
are
just,
you native in California? Or?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you never get out of here. Yeah. I mean, you don't have any reasons to get out of there.
No, it's a few earthquake once in a while, but we don't have floods. We don't have hurricanes, nothing like that. We
But
get a whirlwind, but not a
there,
tornado.
there are forest fires once in a while.
Oh, they're all the time.
Yeah.
They're all the time. And they're not that far. You know what I mean? They're over the hill from my house. So probably about, I don't know, 60, 70 miles at the closest is where they get. So it gets all nasty smelling outside a lot. So you have to really filter everything and never leave your windows open. But
Okay.
then again, my neighbor thinks it's like 40 below every day. So he throws things in his wood fireplace every day, even if it's like 70 degrees outside, or even when it's 90, sometimes I'll see it. And it's like, are you kidding me, dude? Seriously? I can't even leave a window open in my house, dude.
Yeah.
So, oh, it's so frustrating. And it's like, didn't they outlaw this stuff in California so I don't have to smell it anymore? And just, I don't like it at all. It's not like, if I go to Tahoe and there's like snow on the ground, oh, dude, totally understand it. You know what I mean? It's cold.
Mm.
But where I'm at, I'm in the valley, man. It's nothing but sun. We're in a
Yeah.
desert. I'm like,
Are you like near like say Burbank or whereabouts are you?
I'm right in the valley. So I'm in like Corona, Temecula area. So how do I want to say this? If you're in Orange County,
Right.
all you got to do is go east about 40, 50 miles, and that's where I'm at.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was in Venice, Venice Beach. Where's the other one? Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like Santa Monica. That's a nice area.
I've
Yeah,
been to Anaheim to see some shows over there.
Mm.
Seven Dust, actually. Anaheim is a nice place too.
Yeah, about 40 minutes from Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
East
Yeah.
of Anaheim, is it?
Like southeast. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hollywood's
So
kind of weird. It's either you have a good area or a bad area. It's kind of
My area is good. It's they put in all new homes everywhere. I used to live in an area where there's nothing but dirt fields. Now it's track homes everywhere, but they actually did a nice job on the streets and stuff, so they're nice and wide. So it's not all cluttered. So that's nice. The only bad thing is I get a bunch of morons that live in these preppy houses that they're just jerks. And there's nothing else to say about it. I live right next to a private community with a big old gate around it. And they're kind of a little different too. And then you get like all these new homes, and you go over this little bump, and then it's like going over the train tracks on my house over here. You know what I mean? In the other side of town. And I prefer it that way. Because that way I could do stuff in my garage, and I'm not like these other people who can't even fart without their neighbors smelling it.
Yeah.
I don't like those at all.
Yeah, the houses they're building here, they're between the house is like less than 10 feet. It's like, what the heck is that? I don't
That's
like
horrible.
it. Yeah. And you walk out of your house, the old days, you had some property, you had a decent size driveway. You could put 4 cars, no problem. Now it's like you step out of your house, you go 10 feet, boom, you're on the street.
Yeah.
There's no frontage on the house. Same in the back. There's no backyard anymore. It's gone.
Yeah. It's bad. I don't even know why they allow that. That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's how they're doing it now. Like my brother, he lives in an area, more of a rural area, so he's got a nice property. So he's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
So I've been to the Coachella Fest at some point. So I think it's not very far away from where you're at Coachella. You know where that is?
Where? Sorry?
Coachella Valley, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
Yeah.
I've been there. There was so many people. It's
Do you know where Nathan, do you know where Lakewood is?
Lakewood? I've seen it on the map. I've never been there. But it's right over by Orange County, isn't it? Over in that area?
Very close, yeah. My wife's relatives live in that area there.
Yeah, see, I don't live on the side with the ocean that gets the breeze. I live in the valley where it's like really hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to go over the Ortegas and get over to that side where the ocean is.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's bad. There's no parking. Everything's on top of each other.
Right.
And everybody's got a dent in their car because they don't know how to drive. So I drive my big old 4x out there because if you're going to hit me, you're going to fall to pieces, not me. And I'm not doing that with those little race cars out there. So, and everybody drives a Tesla. Let me just tell you, like 40% of the cars out here are Teslas.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then here I am in my big old diesel. You know what I mean? I got a Dodge 4x4 quad cab long bed, and I'm out there, roaming around. And it's like, dude, I not with you crazies driving.
Manual transmission.
No manual. It's automatic with the stick on the floor for the 4x4. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I won't do it. Not with these crazies. You're gonna run right into my truck and fall apart. I'm not.
Yeah, where
I'm
we
not
live,
doing that.
there's a lot of Teslas too.
I keep telling my wife, I says, "Is that guy's bumper made of cake? Because you keep getting up close to it. We're gonna be eating it soon."
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
The best bumper sticker I've seen was if you drive really close to it, you'll see it says, "Are you this close to God?"
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But well, you were how expensive are the houses next to the beach?
Oh, next to the beach, they're over $1 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think you're getting close to it for under that. Not these days.
but in San Diego, when I was living there, it was pretty cheap. 10 years ago,
Well, it's 10 years ago. Yeah.
14 years ago, sure.
Now a track home anywhere in San Diego is 700 or more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, the average house in the Toronto area, 1.1, 1.3 million.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. It's cheaper next to the beach in San Diego than in Ottawa and Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up with that?
Well, I seen the latest census, and they did a survey on the best places in the world to live in, and they had about 6 different criteria: lifestyle, jobs, security, safe neighborhoods, stuff like that. And Canada ranked number 3 in the world.
Oh yeah.
So Switzerland, Denmark, and then Canada were the top 3. You'd be
All
surprised what
areas.
and guess what the U.S. ranked? I was pretty shocked, but 48 on the list,
48.
way down there. So it's going to be interesting next month with your elections. What's going to happen? That's all I got to say.
Oh, it will be. Be a fun one. Just stay off the streets and let them do their thing.
Well, see, I think the reason why a lot of Canadians watch the American news is because whatever happens down there will ricochet into Canada, economically, politically, everything.
Yeah, it's gonna reflect in Canada very quickly.
Yeah.
If
We're the closest
uh,
trading partner, right?
yeah, whoever's got elected, if it's the wrong one, not to name names, but if it's the wrong one, and the United States goes down the toilet, but Canada is gonna go down the toilet very as quick as maybe quicker than the United States.
I don't know, man. I can't afford gas right now. So if that one person gets in, I really won't be able to afford gas, and it's going to be horrible. So I need the other one to get in so I can actually drive around in my city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuel for my truck when it was bad, it was like $7 a gallon. So for the diesel, and then now it's still 5 something a gallon here in California. So
Yeah.
I need it cheaper, man. I need somebody else in there that actually knows what they're doing so we can actually drive around.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to go get a workout on my way to the park where I walk and get a workout. I don't need that. I want to drive there, you know what I mean? So I can have the comfortable ride home.
Right.
Not I'm dying on one leg trying to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be interesting how things play out. And it's like I'm more like the U.S. thing is one thing, but what's happening in Russia and the Middle East right now, that's disturbing too. You know,
Yeah,
that's,
well, that's got to get shut down. Like,
yeah.
I'll tell you what right now. Well, I can't say it because I don't want to get into politics, but the one side is fighting for a one state solution. I'll just say it that way, and
Yeah.
they're fed up with the whole everything else, and they're just telling everybody to shut up, and they're doing their own thing, and
Yeah.
that's it. And that's the way they should have done it from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not doing anybody any good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I like for the victims in Florida, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, to have their house swept away, for them to get funding, and then instead we're sending it to other countries. So
Yeah.
I would like to see it help all the people out there. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, like elevate our homeland before we elevate somebody else's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that as well. That's
Yeah,
America
what
first.
a great idea.
Yeah, what a concept, huh?
Well, I also heard, well, actually, some videos have been popping up on YouTube lately about weather manipulation. Apparently, certain groups in the U.S. they were studying and trying to perfect weather manipulation, and this stuff is actually starting to come out now into the mainstream.
Well,
So,
those hydron, whatever you call them, collider things,
yeah,
they're screwing things up.
Yeah.
They're making magnetic fields in there in order to hold particles in. And I'm sorry, that's too much of a gigantic field. You're messing with the Earth, and they need to stop it.
yeah, the Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Yeah.
It's having adverse effects.
I heard they were going to build a bigger one.
They need to stop all that. That's got to stop. I don't like any of that stuff. Get rid of it.
They're messing with stuff they don't understand. They think they know everything, what they're doing, but they don't.
No, they don't. There's repercussions everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
do you guys believe in the theory for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction?
well, yeah, that's what we're saying.
Well,
Yeah.
like, what happened over there on the other side of the world, all that, energy that was between missiles and radars and things blowing up and God knows what else. Like, do you think that energy kind of reflected and, onto our side of the hemisphere and caused,
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
it's like maybe we need to be kind of mindful of what actions happen, on the other sides of the world. It could cause, an effect here.
Well, they're using it as a weapon. That's when it's wrong, right? When you start playing with the actual atmosphere of the planet, it's not going to end well. And even for the perpetrators are the ones that are starting it, right?
Yeah.
There's many countries that have been working on this tech, right? Not just the U.S. Russia's been doing it. China's been working on it. Just to name a couple, there's many more that have been working on this tech for a long time. So,
Yeah, they set off nuclear weapons in the ocean or under the ocean or in some cavern somewhere, and that's all having bad effects. So I don't like any of it.
like even some of the stuff they're doing in Antarctica, that we don't even hear about, because why is a continent in Antarctica totally controlled by the military?
No, it's not only that, it's all the militaries are controlling it together.
Right. What is so special down there? That's what I really want to know.
Yeah, well, they're going to screw around and we're going to find out. How about that?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Tectonic plates. I mean, it would make sense that's why they are controlling it, because it's, magnetic.
Yeah, by the way, can we ever see the plates fold in on each other? Because I'd love to see that. Because that sounds like a big pile of what. I don't buy that theory at all. I think the ground goes up and down, there are caverns in there, and they sink, and the other parts rises somewhere else, and that's it. Do not think it folds in on each other at all, because they would have showed it by now. They would have said, "Hey, we discovered this." Like we put the big camera on the bottom of the ocean to show giant sharks. We could have seen the Earth fold in on itself. That would have been amazing, but it's not there.
Yeah.
You mean the hollow Earth theory?
No, I mean, like they keep saying one plate is here, another plate goes under it like this, but where? I've never seen it. I've seen caverns explode underground and things go down, and then other parts of the Earth come up with mountain ranges and stuff. I have never seen something fold in on each other like that. Or we got a magical God fart that makes all the continents shift and they all pull away from each other. Like, how did that happen? So I've never seen anything like that.
Like even at the bottom of the ocean, we know more about outer space than we do our oceans. That's going to tell you something right there.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, the picture of Mars, you ever seen it, the real one?
Yeah.
Completely different than the red planet they tell us. It looks like a habitable planet. It's It's got greenery on it. It's got, blue on it. All these different colors. It's not red.
Interesting.
So, and they have that on a government website, by the way.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something if there was actually vegetation on that planet right now?
I think they're just lying to us. They just flat out lie to us.
Interesting.
Yeah. And if there's no oxygen, why don't we? If there's no oxygen, why don't we send plants over there to create oxygen? Something like that. Like just seeds.
Yeah,
Just seeds that could create oxygen, and after like 30 years, we could just go there, and live there.
Well, what if they already fund these black projects, like, and they do exist, and there is a civilization that actually has already, been started there. And you hear like scientists disappear or very important people. What if those people are given that, choice? You go somewhere else and forever forget this place, and you can start human civilization, or you get to stay here and keep on posting and yapping, but you won't get anywhere. Do you like that? Would be a possibility. How do we know that is not? I mean, if all the science is indicating that there is, life, then why would we not assume that they've already started that for, the select few?
Yeah, that's because
I think
there's
I
no
think
food.
NASA. I think NASA, hides a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that NASA is a mainstream entity, so they control the mainstream narrative, and it costs like $100 to review new theories, but they rather spend $1 billion on the Alcubierre drive, something that's never gonna work. Instead, so it makes no sense.
Yep. I agree. I'm looking for that planet picture right now. See if I can't find it.
I don't know if you guys have noticed that the moon is like super big right now.
Oh
It
yeah,
just looks bigger than normal.
it's gonna crash on Earth.
No, it's a projection. It's a projection.
Flat Earth.
Flat earther.
Yeah, we got flat Earth.
Oh my god.
Oh man. I bet they contribute to that too.
Oh man, the flat earth thing just destroys me. When I hear that, my eyes just roll in the back of my head. I'm like, oh my god, really?
One meme that is pretty funny are the one back in the 80s when you see the Jetsons. People in the 80s thought we would be living in flying vehicles these days. It's the opposite. Not only we don't, but we think the Earth is flat.
Yeah, we took a right hand turn somewhere. And it was like a dead end road.
There you go, Mike. I pulled it up for you. That's actually what Mars looks like. Not all red. It's colors everywhere.
So that blue obviously is water.
Yeah, it could be frozen, could be liquid. I don't know. They didn't go that far into it. They just said that's the true color of Mars. And the way they usually show this giant red planet. So they're lying to us about the stuff in our own solar system.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like it. Hey, let's go there. You know what I mean? And that's probably why they don't show it that way all the time.
Yeah, maybe if it's Earth's twin, they don't want us to know.
Yeah. So anyway, so my question would be, if that's what it really looks like, where the heck are they getting those pictures coming from? Are they changing the colors to red when they show it from NASA? I mean, how bad does this got to get? You know what I mean? How much are they going to lie to us?
Well, there are reports from whistleblowers specifically said, I've seen it. There's a room and and there's like two guys in the room scrubbing photos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a spectrum analysis.
Even the moon too. I've heard stories where they were just doing major washing of the pictures from the moon, especially the back side of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that the moon like rings like it's hollow is
Well, yeah,
proof enough that something unusual is going on that they're not telling us.
yeah. And here's the funny part. They were talking about, okay, they said, yeah, you sent all these rockets to the moon in the late 60s, right? And the guy goes, with, why haven't we gone back to the moon? He asked a NASA engineer. And he goes, we don't have the technology to do that today.
Yeah, that was
thinking to
hilarious.
myself, that is the most retarded, stupid
Mhm.
answer I've ever heard in my entire
I
life.
guess they're telling like the new NASA employees that, oh, we lost it. We lost the technology.
We lost the technology. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I got a cell phone here that had more computing power than, the Atlas V rocket or the Saturn V rocket that went to the moon. I got more computing power in this
Hold
phone
on.
right now.
Isn't China on the moon right now?
Yeah, supposedly.
How did they get there and we can't find out how to get back there?
Exactly.
That's a damn good point there, Nathan.
I don't understand that. That's the new math. They got some millennial math going on there. We don't understand.
And then what was it?
The guy that got passed, he didn't get an A or B, he got passed. That's the guy running it now.
There was a probe that the U.S. sent to the moon there. I think it was last year. And when it landed, it fell over. Like literally fell on its side.
Oh, man, that's so
Like,
funny.
You're going to send a multi-billion-dollar rocket to the moon. And then you're going to have the thing fall over like on its side. Like it's like this on a tripod. The thing fell over on its side. And when it fell over, the antenna system for that got buried in the ground. That's why they couldn't communicate with it.
So we need another $1 billion to go save that $1 billion piece of junk that we put up there.
Jeez. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Like, I couldn't believe that NASA engineer actually said that. It was totally crazy.
Oh, man, that's so funny. Yeah, we don't know how to get back there. We can't get past the Van Allen belt. Oh, really?
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I remember that one. I'm like, oh, yeah, you just admitted that you can't get through the Van Allen belt.
Yeah.
So was that a real landing or was it, filmed in a Hollywood studio?
Well, that's what somebody should have asked them. Hey, which studio did they film that in then?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, that would have been my follow-up question. Well, if we can't get there, then what studio did you film it in? What studio is the Mars rover in? Because I'd like to go look at it. I want to go dance in front of it.
It's probably at Paramount Studios.
It's like when Neil Armstrong hit foot on the floor on the moon first, but who took the picture? The cameraman. He was already on the moon, so it makes no sense.
Hey, Ian asked, Mike, are you doing a presentation tonight?
Me?
Yeah, he was asking if you were doing any kind of presentation tonight.
No. Not tonight. Next week, I'll be doing my Renegade device. Yeah.
All right, Ian. Yep, that will be next week that he's doing a presentation.
Thanks, Mike. Set the date. Yeah.
We'll keep you guys updated so we can let people know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, Gerald's on Sunday. I've been waiting for this for 3 months. So
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
so he's working hard on it, man. And I don't know. I promoted stuff on his channel, you know what I mean? Whatever I could to get anybody there, put every community post I could out. So just trying to get anybody and everybody there to subscribe, because he's not doing it on everybody's channel on Monday. He's doing it on Sunday on his, so that we can get him as many subscribers as we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then I just told him, you know what I mean, after that, he can put it on any channel he wants, and we'll just, we'll replay or whatever if that's what he wishes. But I want him to get all those numbers first.
Yeah.
So
Mine's not going to be a huge amount of theory. A lot of my stuff is going to be more history.
yeah, that's cool. I like that.
History stuff. It's good to know some history, where all this stuff started and how old inventions got rehashed and renamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's some good history stuff there. I personally like history. I know a lot about Tesla. I've studied a lot about him. Eric Dollard's another one I've studied quite a bit in his history. And Steinmetz. That's another one of my favorites is Steinmetz. Robert Adams. You'll be hearing about Robert Adams and how he kind of built the actual, I guess, say, predecessor to the Bendini motor.
Yeah, the Adam motor.
Yeah, the Adams motor. So he was building that way back in the 60s, but way before Bendini was. So a lot of the ideas and concepts from that device were into the Bendini device, or the Ron Cole motor, they used to call it. That was a guy who was working with back in the early 80s, Ron Cole. So, yeah, like Bendini worked on a lot of stuff, but it was a lot of stuff that was already created. So he basically repackaged it, renamed it, But you can't really knock him. He did contribute a lot as far as perfecting circuits and switching circuits and understanding the back EMF, the radiant energy, stuff like that. But there were guys before him already doing this. He just learned it and kind of took it to the next level, right?
Yeah. Well, I always find it funny. I don't think a day goes by I don't get a comment that says it's not an over Unity device. He didn't do anything. He just charged a battery with a battery. And I'm like, dude, did you even look at it, or did you just want to tell me that as you pass by? Because it's really stupid when you can use one battery to charge 8 batteries. It kind of breaks the whole thought pattern of 1-to-1, doesn't it? It just makes you look stupid for saying it, is what it does.
Exactly.
So
the only way to get over Unity is to have a hyper efficient system. When you get a hyper efficient system, you're that narrow gap to go over Unity becomes a smaller gap, smaller and smaller. So the more efficient you can make your device, and you're taking advantage of the collapsing radiant energy coming into the device, will always exceed the power that you're putting into the device. So it's not just how much power you're creating at the end, it's how much power you're putting into the device.
yeah, well, it's how much you capture along the way, isn't it? Every capacitor you fill, right. Any battery you fill, any part of it is what you got to capture, and that's the point.
Right. Exactly. Even Joseph Newman, if you read his book, he's probably one of the most accurate on all this. He really figured it out. And he had many, many engineers from Georgia Tech and MIT check his device out and said they wouldn't do it on record because they were worried about their reputation, but some of them did. And they said, yes, this device does put out more energy than it takes to run it. So if you got high level, regular academic guys coming out and saying, yeah, there's something to this. We should be looking into it. And then, totally getting blacklisted from the U.S. Patent Office and losing in federal court. And, they put him through the ringer, the poor guy. But it just goes to show how hell bent they were on not allowing this tech out.
Yeah.
It's suppressed.
Well, they're all talking about it now. Even channels that dismissed it, they are all talking about it now.
Yeah, like Tom Falone, worked for the patent office. He was one of those guys that's seen several devices go through the patent office that they basically shifted it right over to the military right away for them to assess it if they deemed it national security risk, section 113. If it was deemed as national security risk, it was blackballed and thrown into the drawer, never to see the light of day. And I know two inventors that had their stuff thrown in the drawer. So,
Yeah.
Sometimes national security doesn't mean that it's something dangerous on the borderlines of like explosive or anything, but it could be disrupting the economy because
that's right.
there's just what level it is that they might be just afraid of the economy disruption, not the not as a scare of somebody losing their life.
Yeah, it's the status quo. They want to keep the things that going. They also call it disruptive technology. Well, how is it going to disrupt things when it's going to make things better? How is that disruptive? I think that's where the patent office doesn't know, right? Something that makes
term disruptive is telling, because disruptive means it's going to disrupt their ability to control you, their power.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Well,
and it's not just the U.S. It's global. It's global.
Just so you guys know, I'm going to lie about how much energy I get. I'm going to give you a lowball figure, just so we're aware. I have no intention of getting blackballed like that. So
wait until I start making money with C++ superset. I'll tell the whole world. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'll get killed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll tell it to you with a 10% increase, and when you find out it's got a lot more in it, well, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Only what's on the package.
Yeah, just say if you got more than what you thought you were going to get, hey, all the power to you. Just go with it.
You put a little magic switch on the inside that actually turns a real device on.
Yeah, yeah. After unpacking your device, switch this switch to the left.
And you don't even tell them. You just let people like us who tear things apart find it. And they're like, "Hey, what's this switch for?" Oh, it actually does something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
why
is my battery lasting 6 years?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Anyways, guys, it is after 11. I think we'll call it wraps. I gotta take the car into the shop tomorrow, get some work done. So I'm gonna be there for 8:30. We do our next live cast again Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. As I was saying at the beginning of the show, that after next week, I won't be doing shows for about 2 weeks. I have to go on afternoons at work. So don't forget, there's Nathan and Ben. They do excellent podcasting, usually doing a couple shows a week at least. So please join their channels. If you guys can post your channels there in the live chat, please subscribe to them. Check out their shows. They had some really good guests on in the last little while. Nathan had Joe Legacy on last week. They have great archives of all their shows and their experiments that they're currently working on. Philip, maybe do a plug for your Fornux.
C++ superset, yeah.
Yep. So you can check that out as well. Any last words before we sign off for the night?
Yeah, so I was not able to get that modified Jewel Thief to work with the Christmas coil, but if anybody is interested in seeing the neodymium sphere test I'm about to do after this ends, head over to my channel, Beneficence TV. So I will be continuing the stream for a few minutes just to show that off after we end here.
Cool. I'll check it out.
On Sunday, we're doing Gerald's coil on Gerald's channel, so
Yeah,
everybody
go to
show
Old
up.
Man Builds. Go to Old Man Builds.
That's
and
right.
You can
That's
see,
at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I believe.
1 Eastern. Okay, cool.
And we're gonna have a pregame show on my channel to rally up some people to raid his.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't forget, the guys have their Patreon accounts as well. Please sign up with their Patreon. Support these guys with their experiments. Even if it's a couple of bucks a month or whatever it is that they set up, it goes a long way and helps Ben and Nathan get the parts they need for their projects and everything. So, and as well, I have my Patreon. It's been going for a couple of years now. Every penny I get from that goes towards the project. So definitely money well spent. And I got my 3D printer for my Patreons and have the equipment that I use for my Patreons. So I pretty much, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the gear that I have to do a lot of the work. So thank you to my Patreons and everybody that supports us. All right, guys, have a great night. I'm sure we'll be chatting through the week. So, we'll see everybody next Friday night.
Well, I got. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Great
Take
show.
care.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.